Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build yourself a snowy secret base. In case you ever wanted to hide your base somewhere very inconspicuous, well, this is the perfect video for you. So without further ado, let's investigate how we'd go about this. And of course, this is indeed the 5th day of Gearsaw, which means 2 days from now, another upload. And first off, find yourself an ice spikes biome. Otherwise, you don't really have much of the entrance. So, you look around, ignore the tall ones, although those would technically make good bases, still, they're pretty inconsistent. What we want is a thick, small one like this. And not something like this, we want a very thick one like this one. Essentially, it needs to have a 3x3 interior space. So, dig yourself out a small space here, and then we're ready for our palette. So for the facade entrance inside the ice spike, spruce planks. We're just going to be using a bunch of spruce. For our outlines in the secret base, we're going to be using gray concrete, light gray concrete, cyan concrete, mangrove planks for the flooring, and then a pit that involves light blue blocks. And of course, once you have your ice spike, go inside, hollow a bit of it out like this. Make it as tall as you can, and then get yourself some normal ice to make windows. Should be everywhere. And from here, this one's accidentally connected to something, so not exactly the best example, but something like this. And now, we have a very small interior space. Make this look like a normal base and hide a carpet somewhere, or a crafting table in here. Using spruce planks on our facade ice spike entrance, you can see that it's, well, pretty cozy. Although it's only an ice spike, there's hundreds of these around. Still, put a lantern at the top, hollow it out, some ice windows, some planter boxes. Everyone loves growing snow. We now have ourselves a remarkably comfy base. And if you really just want a small base, well, this is the ticket. However, we're going for something bigger. So, down here, go around 20 or so blocks down. Of course, make sure there are no underwater caves in the area. I did not scout the building area for this. Well, yeah, maybe I'm not the best YouTuber, but anyways, what you want to do is go decently far down, see if there's any caves in the area by poking some small holes, and then we can start building the secret lair. Line the sides of this with light gray concrete. Once you have finished your shaft down, it should look something like this. The lack of lighting is intentional to give off a little bit of an ominous feel before going in. And then, once you head in, I recommend building a little hub area right here. Nether portal, of course, make sure to hide its nether side. And then, whenever you want to have an entrance to a new room, line it with your cyan concrete. And then, of course, dig rooms to either side. Since, of course, you want to have some larger rooms, some smaller ones, and use segments like these. Sea lanterns on the top. If you don't have access to sea lanterns yet, then you could use frog lights, but in that case, perhaps you might want to wait until you have sea lanterns or use lanterns. And then, of course, make sure they're all centered, because that would be an embarrassing mistake. And then, build yourself some simple rooms like this. 4 high in these parts, and then some support beams going across every 3 blocks. And don't forget your storage room, since, of course, without storage, your base isn't terribly useful. Once you've excavated yourself a couple of rooms and built them up, you should have something that looks like this. And this is a pretty good start. I've added a nether portal here, not gonna light it for noise reasons, but fill out these rooms with a couple of items you might need. Avoid putting storage, because we're going to excavate a massive area over here for storage. And note, this bottom part here is mostly for decoration, but anyways, for these areas, you want to include some brewing and such, and other things you might need. Smelting will be relegated to over here, so you might even want to include animals in one section. With your rooms now set up, they should look something like this. I've built a brewing station in here, bunch of brewing stands, and we have some water. Make sure that the bottom part does include more concrete or another appropriate block. Barrels to store your favorite ingredients. Let's be honest, mostly blaze powder. And then a nice little potion guide here. So, of course, all that's pretty nice. Potentially swap out some of the brewing stands for netherwort. And then over here, we have the blacksmith. Some armor trimmed armors. So, if you have any surplus diamonds, use them on this. Makes really nice decoration. Lava here, mainly to add to the vibe. Smithing tables are non-flammable, place them here. And then some anvils along the walls. And although your first instinct might be, well, why not place the anvils like this across? Well, one, make sure to rotate your anvils correctly to create a consistent pattern. And two, if you break one of these anvils, it has a chance of straight up throwing your item, especially if you have your inventory full. So say you made a typo on your sword, and your anvil breaks, well, say goodbye to that sword because it'll be flung into lava. So make sure to never place an anvil in front of a dangerous area. Once you have these areas done, deep slate flooring here, excavate a massive area over here for our storage. And once you've reached the edge of the room, loop around with this gray concrete, and then we'll do sand concrete, more gray concrete, and then some deep slate bricks. However, of course, you need to know a little bit of dimensioning on the pit, so we'll handle that shortly. And then we'll do the roof. Same style, a little bit of structure block error here, hence why we have the weird roofing. But of course, segments of 3, you don't have to abide by that. In fact, you might want to make this room taller since it's an important one. But anyways, build your room, and then excavate little areas on either side for chests. Make sure you have the little banding, and then your pit. Inside here, we have ourselves a nice excavated area, where we have some furnaces of varying types, chests with bamboo mosaics as a placeholder block, and replace these with whatever block you plan to sort in here. Of course, make sure your chests are in fact double chests. I have not been particularly good about this. Somehow I managed to make almost all of them not double chests. But anyways, double chest them, and then we need to handle our pit. The walls should be made out of untextured deep slate bricks, mainly because this is pretty futuristic, no need to crack them. And then, little holes here with stairs. You can see little stair holes here, and we get all the light we need. How does it look without stairs? Simple. 8 sea lanterns. You don't even need to use sea lanterns on this part if your resources are scarce. Skip a couple blocks between each one, and then place your stairs. Once you're done, should look something like this. And now, we have ourselves some good lighting down here. For our little glass sheets here, made out of light blue stained glass, we have a fog effect appearing. Going up to the top, you can see how it looks foggy down there, which is exactly what we want. You could potentially use ice if it weren't for the lighting. So, if for some reason you are able to bypass that, potentially with mods, I don't know any that would do that, but still, I'd recommend using it. But anyways, layer it like this, do your layering, lighting, and then when you're done with that, I'd recommend making one small change from earlier. Move the nether portal from here at the beginning of the base all the way over here, because here's the thing, you typically are going into your base to sleep first. So put that at the front of the base and leave the nether to the back, since when you come from the nether, you likely already have a full inventory. When done, of course, I moved the nether portal here, but we have this fantastic fog effect here. And what do you know, with our smart sea lantern placement here, you can't see it ever. Even from the most extreme angles, not a pixel is showing, which means this is a really nice floor design. Since, of course, the fog effect, and, of course, it looks like something you wouldn't be able to replicate normally, but, of course, you can with some clever Minecraft trickery. So, even if you're watching this really just to support me or listen to the sound of my voice, I mean, thank you. Still, I'd recommend incorporating this into any base you can, since it fits in with a lot of different designs, more things than you'd expect. Secret laboratory, well, nuclear waste. Snow factory, I mean, I don't know what that is, but that works there. Futuristic society, works there. A lot of different things. Even substitute it for black, now you got darkness, fantastic for caves or interesting starlight ceilings. From here, what you want to do is go to this part of the base where we originally had the nether portal, or if you have a different floor plan, the closest base to the ladder, and you want to make another side room like this. Of course, this one will be slightly different because it's the bedroom, and we'll be incorporating the library into it since books are cozy and we need a little bit of a break from all the sleekness in here. Once you've excavated this room, and make it a 3x3 grid using the same design we've used out here, it could look something like this once you've added decorations. Of course, I'd recommend chiseled bookshelves, and although, yes, they are very expensive to get like this, I find it more as a little progression meter, since the more you fill out, the further you've progressed in your world most likely. Although you could invalidate the whole thing with massive sugarcane farms and hogland farms, still, it's a fun little thing you might want to try out. Anyways, I recommend making the ceiling out of glass, so that way we can have a mini aquarium up here. And it's not going to be anything special. We're going to coat the walls in blue or cyan, either one works. Although since we're already using cyan here, I'd recommend blue. And then, of course, we want to fill it up with water, put some fish in here, and then one of these side rooms will include an enchanting table, some normal bookshelves, and a nice little sea lantern with light gray concrete. The other one could be the same thing, or you could potentially make it into a bubble elevator, say into an efficient mine, which should be appearing in the top right. So we have this nice little area here, our enchanting table area on this side, and a mildly familiar setting on this side. It's almost like something's hidden under here. Or not. But anyways, I have decided to go with a change of plans here. Instead of an aquarium on the ceiling, I've decided to go with a globe. You can see, it looks kind of complicated, but it's really not. You add some green, well, lime blobs on the side to simulate islands, a little bit of a coastal setting, especially, look at the biome. You aren't getting those kinds of views nearby. Ignore the plains. But anyways, we have that, and then on the corners, we have ourselves 3 blocks like this, and then a larger version of that, and now we have ourselves a pretty decent design. From here, you should have 3 layers, and then in the middle, you want to make a 4th layer by excavating a circle with a diameter of 7, circle generator provided in the description, and then place a sun in the middle of it. Dig out little chasms like these, put sea lanterns at the end, and make sure they're sufficiently deep so that way you don't accidentally see them while running around here. And then once all that is done, you have yourself a snowy secret base. And what do you know? It looks quite nice. Of course, this area over here, and then we have the blacksmith. Well, bad safety precautions here, but anyways, some brewing. Then we got chests, the fog, nether, it's everything you need. And all of that is hidden under this ice spike, which is a little cozy entrance. And if you want to say, hey, I don't have anything on a Minecraft server, well, you have this to show, and then you have all your good stuff hidden down here, which is always a nice little thing in case you have untrustworthy friends. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. And don't forget, this is in fact the 5th day of Gearsaw, which means if you're watching this today uploaded, 2 days from now you'll be seeing another tutorial. And here's a hint, it involves candy canes. So enjoy the rest of your day. Gearsaw out.